Hello, I'm Bob Fashano, and welcome to the Lead the Way podcast from Keiser University. Every month, we will be introducing business and community leaders who we've invited to share with us their leadership journey and also some practical insights in their leadership and how we can apply them in our day-to-day. Today, I'm honored to have as our guest Wayne Canner. Wayne is the CEO of Palm Beach Neighbors Media Solution. Wayne, welcome.
Welcome, Bob.
Okay, it's good to have you with us. And Wayne, we really appreciate you taking the time today because of your busy schedule to share with our podcast audience your experience and share with us some of your ideas and your wisdom as it relates to leadership. Maybe a place to start, Wayne, would be for you to share with our audience a little bit of your personal background, your family, where you're from, where you're living. I know you're living in Florida now. Perhaps some of your hobbies, just to get our audience a little bit more familiar with Wayne Canner.
Happy to do that. So, Bob, I was born and raised in Connecticut. Went to college in Tufts University in Boston, Massachusetts. And then I had a 40-year marketing executive career with General Electric. And the understanding of business dynamics, motivation, and leadership really was the hallmark of that career. Since 2018, I've served as the CEO of Palm Beach Neighbors Media Solutions, and we do community-based content around Palm Beach County and beyond. I'm an Eagle Scout. I was captain of both high school and college swim teams, and these experiences both served me well in my leadership roles. On a personal note, I live with my beautiful wife, Lynn. Together, we have a blended family of 5 children and 11 grandchildren who continue to inspire us every day.
Nothing like grandkids, huh?
Oh, man. Keep it young.
It's like the bumper sticker that said, if I knew they would have been this much fun, we would have had them first. Yeah, it's so good. So professionally, Wayne, we know about your long-standing executive career with GE, who you have made a great impact there for sure. And now, in this season of your life, you've started this company in an entrepreneurial role. And obviously, you've had experience in building a team. And we know as leaders, we can't scale and grow our businesses by ourselves. We need people and we need a team. And so, Wayne, one question comes to my mind as we think about team building. What is important to you about building a team?
Sure. Well, team building is an absolute essential for long-term success. And a well-rounded team delivers a balanced result and sustained success. When selecting a team, I look for a sense of purpose. I look for commitment and team success over individual achievements. And I look for alignment with company values and long-term vision.
I was just going to ask you that about what are some of the characteristics that you seek in looking for team members. You know, Jim Collins, the famous author of Good to Great, talks about selecting the right people and putting them in the right seats. And it seems like you've done that your entire career. And it also, what I just heard from you there, is how important integrity and character is in the selection of team. You know, the interesting thing about team building to our audience is that we can teach a lot of things. We can certainly give them knowledge. We can provide them with the tools and the resources and the skills, but they must come to the table with character. You found that to be true?
Absolutely. That's a hallmark of a great employee.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd also add that, putting them in the right seat, as a leader, you need to figure out where their strengths are and making sure that they're making the most impact possible. And sometimes that requires a change of venue.
I'll share this with you, Wayne. Let me know if you've had this experience. I've had experience with having good quality people. And of course, the intention is to have them shine. But if we place them in the wrong place, wrong position, there's tension. And so my experience has taught me to try to find another place in the organization for them. Have you had that experience?
Absolutely. As both a professional and as a leader, The nice thing about GE with 330,000 employees, there were plenty of opportunities for somebody to
Yeah, I
shine.
guess so. Yeah.
And so making that change was important for them professionally and the
Hmm.
business overall.
Another topic as we're building and develop as we're building our team and as we're developing our people is trust. I've learned that trust is the foundation of every relationship and is certainly the foundation of leadership. So please share with us, from your experience, how does a leader gain trust and maintain trust?
I think trust is at the core of effective leadership. I build trust by leading by example, delivering consistent results, and making tough but fair decisions. Recognizing that trust is earned and not granted by title or authority, that's the most important part to communicate across all levels of an organization.
And so good to hear you say that, because that is a responsibility that all leaders have. It has absolutely nothing to do with position or title, but your example makes a difference.
And they're all watching. It's like the
Absolutely.
grandkids. I mean, they're all watching because
Absolutely.
you're a leader in the family.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And as leaders, I like to say we live in a glass house, so people are paying attention. They're paying attention to what you say. They're paying attention to how you behave and your actions, and so I appreciate that. Wayne, what I found in leadership, mentoring has a very important role. Please share with us your experience in mentoring, whether it be as a mentor or as someone being mentored, or perhaps both. What has that experience meant to you?
Well, first of all, mentoring is important for any professional. I have to start with a story that was when I graduated chemical engineering at Tufts, and an on-campus recruiter from GE came. They thought that they were talking to somebody with a chemical engineering degree, and what they found was it was a leader that had the traits they needed. And so that person that single-handedly picked me out of the crowd, sent me through the GE leadership development program, and 40 years later, here I am. So it takes somebody to do that. If you want to know who were mentors besides that executive from General Electric, first of all, it was my father. My father instilled the values of hard work and treating everybody with respect. That was probably the most important thing. The second thing was Jack Welch. Jack was well known around the world for his leadership. He influenced my approach to leadership, particularly in hiring and developing high-level executives. I mean, at the end of the day, a business is a product or a service or a solution, but it's really about the people, and that's what he taught us most.
That's so helpful. So you've had experience both as someone being mentored. Talk to us about mentoring experience. Has there been someone recently that you're developing and mentoring, and what specific actions or are you taking? Are you expecting of your mentee, I guess, if that's the right term, for someone being mentored? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, mentoring never stops, but picking the right employees to help guide them and really expand their horizons is important. And so I know in GE we used to spend about 50% of our time on people versus the business. But at the end of the day, I try to spend as much time as I possibly can developing my team and the people in the team, not just what they're doing today, but what they want to do in the future.
And I've had a little bit of opportunity to talk and spend some time with some of your team, with the Palm Beach neighbors. So I know firsthand that you've had an opportunity. So you're being a little bit humble there, but I know you've had an opportunity to really pour into and mentor some of those folks. And that's so important today. So that's a reminder to our audience today. Be a mentor and be willing to be mentored if there's an opportunity for that.
Absolutely.
Switching gears for just a moment. It almost doesn't matter what business we're in, what profession we might be in. We could be in a university, we could be in industry, we could be in commerce, whatever, in the marketplace, wherever we are, when we're dealing with people, which is the core of our businesses, there's going to be conflicts. There's going to be misunderstandings. They're pretty much unavoidable because we are dealing with people. And as a result, some of the causes of these conflicts are things like misunderstandings, fear, miscommunication, not creating proper expectations, aggression, fear, anger. There's a whole laundry list of things that can cause conflicts. Now, from your experience, Wayne, help us understand, do you have a process that you have as you enter a potential tough conversation or a conflict with someone? Do you have a process that you go through that you could share with our audience?
Conflicts are inevitable, right? They're going to happen. My approach is pretty simple. It's being proactive. And what I mean by that is recognize the early stages of conflict, right? Looking at the organization saying, okay, here's where potential problems may occur. But more importantly, listen carefully to identify the root causes of what it is. I have to harken back to our comment a few minutes ago of, maybe it's not a role for somebody. Maybe there's a better opportunity for that person. But to me, effective conflict resolution strengthens teams and builds stronger leadership credibility. Jack had a premise that this is going back 40 years, but he basically let go of the bottom 10% of the
Right.
organization, and you know what? The rest of the 90% said, "Amen. Let's make it better." And so that's a big part of conflict, and what do you do with it, and how do you manage it.
Yeah, I think here's what I heard. I heard you say something, and I hope our audience grabs this. Obviously, you did your homework before going into a conflicting, potential, critical conversation. But what I heard was listening. Listening is so important. Having an empathetic mindset, not necessarily sympathetic, because it depends. You have the culture to protect. You have the values to protect of your organization. Those are all important. But listening, if you approach conflict with the gloves on, that's what you're going to wind up getting. And so I really value what you said and appreciate that. And I hope that resonates with our audience today. I want another topic that comes to my mind, Wayne, that I'd like to talk to you about and get your take on it. Technology is, you and I have been in business for a long time. We're a couple of senior citizens here that have been around for a while. Technology wasn't involved in my early days. It sure is now, and it's not going any place. And in fact, it's being enhanced as we speak.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows where AI is going to go?
Yeah.
Could you help us understand a little bit about how AI, to be specific, has made a difference in the work of Palm Beach Neighbors at this point, and how you see it unfolding in the future?
Again, a great question. Before I get to the AI, I just want to let you know that technology has been a game changer in my entire career. Every step of the way, it's been staying ahead of the competition or boosting performance. And today, quite frankly, to me, technology improves people, it improves the process, and improves productivity among the entire organization. But it also offers scalable solutions, something that never really was there, originally.
That's true.
But it also enables data-driven decision making. So back to your comment, it's funny, I've been thinking about this conversation today, and AI was on the top of mind because it is going to impact every leadership role out there. How Palm Beach Neighbors has incorporated that is simple. We took a print media solution and brought it to the digital world. We do it at both palmbeachneighbors.com, and we do it through the internet and digital versions of our publication every month. So to some degree, that's a big part of the expansion of our business model.
So certainly technology has played a role, and I guess we could have a whole podcast on AI if we wanted to. But I think in deference to the time limitation we have, we won't bore our audience with that. But we'll get into some important things, Wayne, because you are a seasoned veteran in leadership. I'm sure that you have learned one or two things. You have had some lessons that you've learned over the years in leadership. What is for our audience, what is the most important lesson you have learned, leadership lesson you have learned in your career?
My suggestion would be never underestimate the value of a strong, purpose-driven team and the trust you build together. If they have trust as a team and you lead them in the right direction, now certainly you hired them because they are visionaries as well, and they are part of the overall solution. But to me, that is the most important lesson: is never underestimate. Go in there with open mind. Go in there with an open canvas for them to paint the picture of what needs to be done. Because I think a lot of people think that they need to do it all themselves, and they don't.
That's so good, and that reminds me of something. There's a good probability that there's some entrepreneurs out there who are just starting their business, and they've performed some skills. They have exceptional knowledge in a particular area, and I know this to be true in my case. There's a tendency to flex your muscles and be all the time, spreading yourself too thin. And I think the point that you made, the most important lesson, is to have a mindset to focus on building a team. That is crucial. How you're going to scale an organization, how you're going to build it first and then scale it to the next level. That's a great lesson. So just sitting here, Wayne, chatting with you, I'm thinking of a couple of things here. Number one, you've had a successful career for 40 years, you mentioned, at GE. You started another business, and that's prospering. You're prospering with that. It's keeping you busy, and we value you taking your time to come here. But my question is, how does Wayne Canner stay motivated? How do you stay inspired every day to show up and be all in and be the leader by example?
My motivation is driven by passion, and the passion is to impact clients positively, but to contribute to their bottom line success. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is help my business partners. And seeing real results and knowing that we're making a difference together keeps me energized every day.
What I'm hearing there is what I heard is purpose. Have a purpose, have a reason, get very specific, and your purpose is always about others.
Absolutely.
You never mentioned the benefit of Palm Beach neighbors. You said your partners. It's about others. And that's so critical and so key to building your business is always about others.
Yep.
Thank you, Wayne.
Yep,
And that
you're
keeps you motivated. That's where your passion
it
comes
also
from.
keeps you, because you're solving their problems, they're going to help you solve yours.
Oh, yeah. That's the old Zig Ziglar
Yep.
line.
Yep.
If I help enough people get what they want first, then I'll get taken
Yep.
care of in the end.
Yep.
So as we're winding down here, I have a couple of other thoughts. Do you, Wayne, have some advice for an 18-year-old Wayne Canner? There's an 18-year-old Wayne Canner someplace out there. What would be one single piece of advice you would give that young 18-year-old Wayne Canner?
Never stop exploring opportunities and think big, dream big. If you're gonna dream big, find the right people to help you reach those dreams, but also help others along the way, because you didn't get there by yourself. So it's really pay it forward, and it's really dream big. And if you dream big and you get halfway there, great. But if you dream big, if you don't dream big, you're never going to get anywhere.
Right. That's so good. And I know at first blush that may sound cliche-ish, dream big. And I think if I was talking to 100 business leaders like Wayne Canner, they will say the same thing. So there's something true to that. There's some truth to having a future-oriented mindset, dreaming big. But the other thing that you said, I thought was very critical. I learned a long time ago, there's no lone ranger in leadership. Mm-hmm. Take someone with you. Take someone with you. Don't do it alone.
Yeah.
That's so great. Well, I think we're winding down here. We're towards the end of our podcast. Wayne, this has been really, really helpful for me, hopefully for our audience, and I really, really value and appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and helping us lead the way, the podcast of the future. All the best to all of you who are watching today, and thanks again, Wayne,
Thank
for
you.
your time and effort. Bye for now, and we'll see you next month.